Hi guys, Shaz here. So today I'm going to show you the benefits of compound investing and when you invest and how compound returns really help you out. And anybody can become a millionaire. Some of the stuff I'm going to explain on this board, you're going to be like, wow, because you know what? I've only been investing for the last 5 to 7 years of my life and I should have done it a lot earlier in a more vigorous way. I only did little bits here and there. And if I'd known about this, oh my God, I would have been doing this since I was like 20, 15, 16, 12, since I started earning money. What did I learn? I learned if you invest 500, whether it be dollars, pounds, every month, and you can get a 10% return on this every year, after 10 years, you will end up with around 102,000. If at the age of 20, you start investing 500 pounds, dollars, euros, whatever, a month into the stock market or anywhere where you get a 10% return, after 10 years, you will have 102,000. Now, if you stopped there and never invested ever again, you know what would happen? That 102 at 10% for 35 years would become 3.3 million. What? Did you hear that? You only need to do that for 10 years. Now imagine, guys, if you started a business and you did this way faster, or you were saving more than 500 and you did it for the 10 years. Wow, where would that amount be? If you worked really hard by learning a skill or something, and then for 2 or 3 years, you went ballistic at earning money and saving it and living like a pauper, and you were able to save about 102,000 over a 3-year period, because all you did was you just worked, slept, leveled up, looked after your health, looked after your family, and you did that for 3 years, and you just kept the same clothes. You didn't go and get a car, or you didn't upgrade your car, you didn't go out to fancy schmancy restaurants, you didn't do anything, right? And every opportunity you got to go and do something where you could earn another 20, 30, 40, 50, 200, 300, 400, 500, you went and did that, and you saved up 102,000, right? And you just put that away in the stock market, and then you never saved ever again, and you got a 10% annual return. By the time you retired, you'd have 3.3 million. Now, imagine if you decided that you were retiring at 55 instead of 65, so at 55 years old, so you've got your 102,000. This time, you only let it compound for 25 years. If you saved 500 a month and you did this for 10 years, and you end up with 102,000, and then you take 2 routes, right? In both of them, you never save again. And one, you think I'm going to retire at 55 years old, and one, you say I'm going to retire at 65 years old. In the first one, you end up with 1.2 million, and in the second one, you end up with 3.3 million. It just shows you, once you've got a lot of money working for you, time is your friend. Time takes over and you make a lot of money. So that's one way of becoming rich. Now imagine, right, that you were running a business and you were saving this money, right? Can you imagine what you could do? Imagine you were able to save up 1,000 a month from the age of 20 to 30. So guys, do not be disheartened if you're 25 or 35 or 45 or 55 or 15, because all I'm saying to you is that time's on your side, and the more you save, the earlier you save, the better it is for you in the long term. And there's going to be people out there who say, oh, what if I end up dead? Well, you know what? If you end up dead, your family will get it. Or if you're older, your kids can have it. You know what? At least you're doing some good. So if you save from the age of 20 to 30, 1,000 a month, 10 years later, you'd have 204,000, right? And at a 10% return, at 45 years old, you would have 908,000. My God, 45 is nothing. That's a really young age. And at 55 years old, right, you would have 2.4 million. Did you hear that? 2.4 million, as long as you keep on getting the 10% return. And that can happen because the stock market average return has been around that somewhere. If you get really good at it, you can get better. And if you make some really bad decisions, you can get worse as well. But just shows you what is possible. If you did all of this and you were now retiring at 65, that would be 6.6 million. And you know what? Just for the sake of it, I'm going to see what happens if you were retiring at 75. Now imagine all of this, right? That you put that money away and you think to yourself, I'm 30, I'm doing really well. I could just leave this to my grandkids or my great-great-grandkids, because you know what? Later on, I've made ridiculous amounts of money, and I could just make sure that every kid in my generations to come has a private education or anything like that. Because when you're 75, your kids or grandkids would be 15 years old. So even at 65, right, you could start paying for their private educations, and that money would never deteriorate. Anyway, we're gonna do that last thing, right? And we're just gonna surprise ourselves with where this could end up. So if you were to save 1,000 a month from the age of 20 to 30, so that's 10 years, you would end up with 204,000. If you never ever put any more money into that ever again, and you retired at the age of 75, and then you thought, I'm gonna take this money out, at a 10% return, you would end up with 18 million. And guess what? People have done this. There's real life examples of this on the internet. You can go and look them up. Now I'm just going to break it down into even, you know, somebody might say, oh, I can't save 500, Shaz. I cannot save 500. So let's see what happens if you were to only save $200. And this time we say that you never ever stop saving. You start saving $200 from the age of 20, and we're going to retire at 65 years old. Saving just $200 or £200, euros or whatever a month, and you're retiring at 65 years old, would get you 2.1 million on retirement. And that's if you do it for all of that time. You know what? Let's do something else, right? And you know, a lot of people might say, oh, I don't want to be doing this for the rest of my life. Say that you do it from 20 years old to 40 years old, and you never ever save after that, and you're still going to retire at 65 years old. You would end up with 153,000. And then you thought, right, I'm 40 years old, I'm having a blast now, I'm just going to spend this money and I'm never saving ever again. Yeah? And don't forget, while you've been working from 20 to 40 years old, your wages will have gone up a lot. You could have saved a lot more. It would have been a lot easier to save, you know, $200 a month if you live in the West especially. And then you say, I'm going to retire at 65 years old. You end up with 1.1 million, right? Now, wow, guys, come on. Everybody can do that. Everybody can take charge of their life and their savings. Please smash that like button and subscribe, and tell your friends about this channel. Show this to your friends and family and see if they like it. Thank you for watching. If you want more stuff like this, let me know.